Hey everyone, it's Anahata. It's a very zoomed in Anahata. I don't know why, but rather than zooming in on my face, I'm going to share with you my thoughts. What's in store for 2025? And the answer is whatever we want. But we also need to be a little cautious without being fearful of the two scenarios that are playing out. On the one hand, we have this potential for a dystopian type of society where we are so buried in our electronics, we're no longer out in the wild, in the freedom. And of course, fear does that a lot to us. And if we give our power away to those that would stand to benefit from dispowerment, one world order, total governmental control, things like that, well then, as they say, we will have nothing and be happy. No, not my kind of world. This is happening, though, on all fronts. And you know what I'm talking about. There's a great documentary. I'll put the link in the description. What was it called? The Great Awakening. And really, I believe that's what's up. But the other thing that is happening, and this is the potential timeline that I'm collapsing, and that many of you light workers, way showers, healers are collapsing into reality, is the one in which the cat's out of the bag, so to speak, and that is consciousness. So those of us who have been going through it, perhaps since 2020, since 2012 or whenever, for me that's what happened. The dukkha happened. What is dukkha? Dukkha is suffering. When things seem to fall apart so drastically in your life that you are forced to surrender. And in that surrender, the answer comes through, relief, right? And, thus begins the work. Taking a look at your role in your reality. And then you rise up out of the to me consciousness into by me. And this is a laborious period. This is a period of I can do it. I have to do it. I must do it. I can do it. And it spurs you into action. But you can't stay there long. You can't stay there long. You'll burn out. So there's an element of awakening from the dream of no choice, of things happening to you, the world happening to you, into rolling up your sleeves and taking action. And that taking action step can feel daunting. It can feel like you have 1,000 steps to take and you only have the strength to take one. And I get it. I've been there. Perhaps you are staring down that path right now of change, knowing where you want to be, and your vantage just looks so far and so hard and so daunting. And to you, I tell you, you will have the strength. You will be given the strength to move forward. You will have wings like eagle. And this takes zooming out to a higher perspective, zooming out beyond your own identity. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are pure source, light, consciousness. And so when you come out of the haze of a personal identity and reunite with the totality of who you are, things start to flow through you. You come out of to me into through me and away from by me. It's no longer hard. Things just flow. It takes release. It takes trust. It takes belief and knowing that you are on the right path, that in fact you can't be off the path, that in fact you are a heat-seeking missile. You are sure to hit the point, but that point will include a series of I'm off, I'm off, I'm off, I'm off, I'm off, I'm off. It's not a straight line. This is not rainbows and butterflies. This is a navigation of clear intention towards where you want to be, and a loving look at where you are and the things that you are willing to transform in order to get to where you want to go. But there's a path of least resistance, a path that is made simpler through that letting go and surrender and working with the universe rather than just the tools you see that you have within your identity, which is limited. So this is going to take coming out of your comfort zone. And the comfort zone is nice, but not a lot grows there. You know what's there. And it may be comfortable only because your ego mind says that anything outside of it is dangerous. However, the cave you fear to go into is the cave that holds it all. And so as you wander through, you know that you are not wandering. Wandering is a playful term that I love because it includes the magic of wonder and the flexibility of being open to a path that may appear that you didn't expect, that actually turns out to be the best path beyond your wildest dreams. And that is when you are in the through me. So out of to me, goodbye, into I got this, by me, and into jumping into the deep end, you know, exploring this vast world in the flow. This is outside of your comfort zone. This is 4% more than you think you can do. You know, you do need to be realistic. It's like the balance of the fool. You don't want to jump off the cliff, but you're going to be not scared to dangle a foot or two to fly around. And it's really exciting when you get to that point, because if you back off, right? This is the art of flow. You gotta be engaged and winning. So don't bite off more than you can chew, right? And if you ever feel overwhelmed, know that you're not in the through me phase anymore. You're back in the by me. Okay? It's hard. And then you're expending your energy unnecessarily. There's an art to getting more done through rest sometimes, right? Letting things happen versus forcing them. Because the 80-20 rule says, and this is for anything in life, 80% of the result comes from 20% of the input, of the action, of the effort. So we're wasting a lot of our time. There's a time for rest. There's a time for planting seeds, of harvesting, of all of these things. It's all about balance. So the key framework for staying in through me longer is to zoom in and zoom out. This concept has been with me for many years. I had it come to me in a guided activation that I did, where we looked above a field after going into a deep meditative state, and we were given a symbol, and that symbol was a crop circle that was unique to our journey, that held more answers, right? Know thyself. Deeper and deeper we go. And I'll never forget staring above my body that was in the field, looking down at this crop circle. I was in a circle, and I zoomed out farther, and there were 6 spokes, neatly arranged symmetrically. And I zoomed out further, and I saw the bigger picture was that on each of these 6 spokes were 6 spokes. And then I could zoom in on those 6 spokes, and there were 6 more spokes. So it was a fractal. It was 6 fractal 6. Now the significance of that specific number and orientation goes very deep into what I teach in my water activation certification that's happening soon. More details in a minute on that, but it is the star tetrahedron. Now, if you know anything about sacred geometry, when you spin the 4th dimension of a star tetrahedron in 3D looking like a Star of David, in 4th dimension looking like the tube torus, because one triangle spinning one direction, the other's spinning the other direction, and that spin causes a funnel in the middle that looks like a tornado, right? You can imagine an inverted donut. Now, this is the mapping of flow. This is the mapping of prana. This is the mapping of unobstructed unification. This is the way natural fields pull through this self-feeding mechanism, life force. And it is the Merkaba, light vehicle. Now, light is important because it's the fuel, it's the spark. Water is important because you are water. Water is cohesion, water is emotion, and together with the electric and magnetic, you create your field of reality. It's electromagnetic, and it is what brings things to you on a divine level. If you could see all of the tentacles coming out from every thought and emotion that you have, every choice you make, pulling that into reality, you would be astonished to come to realize that life is much like a video game. It is choose your own adventure. Nothing's happening to you, it's happening through you. And when you can get past the by me efforting into the through me phase of flow and zoom out from there, you realize, as me. So that's my goal, is to help people get to the as me phase, because then we will not be going down that dystopian phase of dysfunction, of distortion, of boundaries, of identity, right? You wonder why all of this political landscape is centered around identity. Well, there's a reason. Identity is what divides, pure and simple. And all disease is disconnection, including fear. So if you're in a place of this and that versus the all, you will naturally exclude and further divide and isolate. And what does this do? Disconnect. And what is fear? Disconnection. And what is healing? It's a return to the memory of wholeness. So that's the revolution, is that we are whole, we are healed, we are healthy, we can have, do, be anything when we reunite. Return to the memory of wholeness. Now, within this physical realm, what is memory? Well, it's the way that you recall experiences. We only have the now, but we can reflect on the past. And indeed, the way we bring up or conjure the past is held within the memory of our water. You are water. That is where memory lies. It's not inside a thing called the brain. It's in the water. And how you recall something is how you perceive of it, is what you activate as truth. And your body doesn't know the difference between what it thinks is real and what is real. Biological functioning happens whether you're in a dream of being chased by a tiger or you actually are being chased by one. And this is where we get into biology of belief. One of my mentors over the years has been Bruce Lipton. Love the man. He's hilarious. Such an entertainer of truth. And it's very simple to understand. Your thoughts matter. What you think to be the truth is the truth, and the world will show that to you, and your body will feel that as truth, and your biology will oblige. You turn on and off your gene expression, and this is why it matters how you feel. Not because it's important, but it is, but because it literally is what matters, what will collapse out of wave potential into solid fact of being. And a lot of people get it twisted. If you're in the to me layer of consciousness, where everything's happening outside of your vortex of spark of initiation of intention, everything's happening to you versus through you, it's very convincing, because what is. And it's really alarming for certain people to say, wait, I have to believe in something that isn't here? Isn't that delusional? Yes, that's delusion, but everything's illusion and delusion. You're interpreting things as fact, even though they're malleable. Your truth is your truth, and you see it as true. Someone else's truth is not false. Their truth is their truth, and it is true for them. So my favorite thing to tell people is your truth and it's true, but do you want it to be, right? Now this goes beyond delusion, because obviously you got to root things down into science, and that's where the law of resonance comes in, and the 7 hermetic laws play a big role in things that you can rely on. This is rules of the game, so to speak. In this simulation that we live in, there are things like gravity. There are things like time, right, that we're bound by. I think I'll turn around now. We've been going quite a ways. It's awesome. I was just speaking to someone a couple days ago. I said, I'll bring in the fog. Little did I know, the very next day and into today, we've had the craziest amounts of fog, and I've been noticing other people post that as well. Anyway, I'll be sure to clear up the fog tomorrow. So this as-me framework that I'm teaching, that I help people to maintain more flow more often, does involve believing in a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet. Why? Well, that's what you'll get. If you woke up and you decided, I'm going to be the best version of myself today that I can be. Tomorrow I can go back to my old habits if I want to. No pressure. Just for one day, I'm going to be the best I can be, personally. No one else. It doesn't involve anyone else. You only have control over your little neck of the fractal. But in refining and choosing and designing that, ironically, the world reflects it. And this is self-mastery. This is a beautiful way to come back into understanding the creator you are, the sovereign power you have, to not only create waves of change in your life, but for others. As I've gone on this adventure for 10 years now, can't believe it, April 2025 is going to be 10 years of dedicating my life to helping people live as me rather than to me. And it's been liberating. I've been able to witness countless transformations within people, working with the bio water of their bodies to really get past their current identity into the limitless potential of what they could achieve and have and do. And then just bridging the gap, right? Teaching them all about the game hacks of reality, the codes that we have access to, the methods that really do work, not on a superficial level, not on a conscious level, on a subconscious level, and even above the genes epigenetically. You've got passed down information that defines you. You've got programmed information that defines you. You've got traumatic information that defines you. and you've got memories, both good and bad, that sweeten over time and sour. And so the gift of water activation is to know thyself, is to zoom out past what is into where you'd like to be, and then to embrace that in a way that softens any storylines that are running counter, that allows you to get out of suffering into really deep acceptance. And this is the ironic part. Letting go, right? It's like you must define where you want to go, because without steps that you can take, you're going nowhere. But you also need to make those steps malleable. This is why I call it a liquid lunar lifestyle, where you're actually on a wave, and that wave at any time can take you somewhere else. You can change course. But the point is, you have a goal, and that goal is smart, right? It's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, even if you don't know how to get there. It's realistic and time-bound. It's smart, right? But from there, it's agile. It's also open to things that are even better. You know, the art of pivoting. You haven't wasted time when you decide, you know what, this isn't the path I should take, but I should take it because I've put so much time, energy, focus into it, and if I switch paths now, then it will have been a waste. Well, again, that's a truth that is only true if it's true. I choose to take all pivots, all failures, all oops, that didn't work, let's try something new, or this isn't the path I thought it was, let's go somewhere else, as optimization data, right? There's no wrong choices. You've learned. That's the point of life. It's joy of the journey, and in suffering, realizing why you're suffering. And by the way, all suffering is wishing something is other than it is. So the meaning of life is the meaning of life, meaning to find meaning. That's the meaning. Do you have meaning? Do you have a passion, purpose? Do you have a focus coming into 2025? And all suffering simultaneously is wishing that something is other than it is. So if you can take those two things and spin them in a Merkaba fashion, activating the light within, zooming out on the totality of actually what's happening here in your life, we realize we do have infinite choices at every moment, and that there's a lot of people focused on the illusions that are being told as truth and storyline, not realizing we're weaving that truth and storyline. One, again, is a dystopian Earth that is controlled by the powers that be, a one world order in which we will have nothing and be happy, controlled by electronics, fearful, with no hope. And a lot of people are like, yep, that's where we're going. That's where we're going. And they've strapped on their seatbelt. Maybe they don't even have a seatbelt. No, most likely they have a seatbelt, and they probably have a mask. Anyway, I'm not going on that train. We're not going on that train. The other path, which is ironically out of the bag and into the world because of this pressure of illusion, of you have no choice, right? Again, through suffering we birth our potential, and through alignment with the forces of the universe we take back our power and our memory, and then we realize, oh, it's a self-imposed prison, one in which we have the key in our pocket all along. So we are the creators of the planet, the only species that has higher faculties, not superior. Gosh, sometimes I wish I was a deer that could just be almost hit by a car and then go over to the side of the road and shake it off somatically and then be on my merry way and have totally forgotten. That would be nice, right? But we are such clever little ones. We can observe the observer. We can create realities in our brains that are so real that the universe shows us that through magnetism, and then we say, see, this is true. And it is true. So to each his own, and in 2025, I encourage you to know thyself in deeper ways. I encourage you to decide where you want to go and plot the path. But be grateful what comes as you go, because it is stuff that you are destined to be able to work through. It's called the game of life. And as soon as you can get to a noble resonance of acceptance and allowance, then you can reach further into the arms of contentment and, dare I say, bliss. So as we go together into this great unknown, this foggy, unclear, unknowable, realize that it's just outside that comfort zone that your paradise exists. That you try on new things that are the very resonance that will allow you to experience the new that you so desire and dream of. Your perfect reality does exist. You have all the answers within. Return to wholeness through the memory of being whole. The unified field will help you. I love this. I love this. As we start building these timelines together, we're uniting. Many of you have been on paths like me in the past. I've had my fair share of dukkha. You know, dukkha again is suffering in Sanskrit. And I love it because it sounds like dookie. I'm going to get a shirt, I think, with my design on it. It's the poop emoji with its third eye open, and it says, dukkha happens. I love it. Maybe I'll write a book about it. Anyways, guys, my point is, many of us have been getting the memo. Many of us have been on this journey paved with dukkha moments, right, along the way that we've had to overcome. Tower moment after tower moment after tower moment. And I just want to tell you, you know, you came here for this. This is why we're here, to birth the new world through rising above and doing the shadow work. And diving into what it means to suffer and choosing the light and exposing all the nooks and crannies of the BS belief structures that have been imposed on us, keeping us small and in ASME. And then most of us have been, yeah, I'm doing this. Let's do it. Rolling up our sleeve. You know, it's that image. We can do it. And we can. But there's an easier way. A much easier way, because it's not going to be through efforting that we birth the new. It will be through the still point of inaction, the still point of the resonance. The anahata is Sanskrit for unstruck. That is the purest vibration at the center of your heart space. Unstruck. What does that mean? There's nothing striking it. It's not sounding because it is being influenced by anything. It is the eternal, internal It both is and isn't. It is the all and nothing at all. Lack of attachment, open, clear awareness that the most intelligent vibration in the universe is unconditional love. So, before I let you go on this foggy day here in Southwest Florida, I want to just tell you well done. 2024 was big. 2025 is going to be bigger. I see 2025 as many pieces of the puzzle, many and many, coming together in one glorious revelation. It's like we've been walking tirelessly, but we're tired on this path, one step at a time. And there's a bridge to where we want to go, and we don't know how much farther it is. We don't know if we can get there. We're just kind of burnt out, fed up, and losing hope. And we realize when the fog lifts, we are mere feet from our destination. And once in that destination, we will celebrate. It will be 2025. And we will know then that we'll have the strength to move forward into the next destination, which is going to be even bigger than that. So, to all you light workers, way showers, healers, or just those that are still suffering in the as me, by me, keep going. There are clues everywhere within you at every moment. You're tuned into this message, in fact, for a reason, because you asked. So it starts with asking, and then you align. You set a destination, a trajectory, an intention. Then you activate that intention. You've got to actually go for it, do something about it, but there's an element of allowance. So this is why I always say the 4 A's are ask, align, allow, activate. And there we have it. A pretty decent mapping into your I am self this 2025. Now for those of you who are like, wow, you know, what you're saying really makes sense, and I actually do want to learn more, there are 2 ways that you can work with me. Well, there's many ways. One is through a personal session, and I'll put the link to that in the description of this video. It's a 90-minute session with you, and you think, how could you get a lot done in 90 minutes? Well, it's life-changing. And the other way, if you were like, yeah, I'm vibing on what you're saying, I've been doing this, I've been following the path, I've been exploring, I may or may not have a dozen or more certifications under my belt. You know who you are. I want to add one more for you. It's called Water Activation Certification. And again, I'll put the details in the description of this video. It's flow state, baby. Out of to me, by me, into through me, as me. And that is the place where you can truly make a difference, shine your light. And the more of us on the same bandwidth of potentiality, the faster we collapse the wave function into the timelines that we're seeing, where we will have everything and be happy, rather than the dystopian, you will have nothing and be happy illusion of distortion that they are strumming into reality through consistent fear-based tactics and identification dissection, which is separation. All right, guys, much love to you and yours. I hope this message finds you well. Happy New Year to everyone. Love you so much. We will chat soon. Let me see if I can get this on for me. All right. You've got this. Bye for now.